I'm delighted to reintroduce to you our dear friend Julie Brill, who leads privacy and regulatory affairs at Microsoft. You already heard Julie's back and forth, so we're delighted here to have some broader thoughts from her. Engineers and poets, the future of responsible AI. As many of you know, Microsoft has been giving deep thought to not only building out world-class AI research and systems and tools, but to the ethical structures that companies need to operationalize and put in place so that we can actually navigate forward in a way that is legal and moral and ethical. And so delighted to have Julie help walk us through. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So it's really great to be here, and this is my third time in Israel. The first time was quite a number of years ago. I was 17 years old. And spent a lot of time in Jerusalem and in the Sinai and on a kibbutz and at the southern wall at an archaeological dig. And then I was here 9 years ago for an international conference of data protection and privacy commissioners. But this is my first time spending a lot of time in Tel Aviv, so it's really been a lot of fun. And once again, thank you to Jules Omer, the Israeli Tech Policy Institute, and especially for inviting me to speak a little bit about artificial intelligence, responsible artificial intelligence, and privacy and other important issues. So we're gathered here at Cyber Week, and it is a pivotal moment on all of these issues. It's a time of remarkable change and remarkable opportunity, and of sweeping disruption and uncertainty. Over a very brief span of time, the ways people interact with each other and the world have changed dramatically. Industries have been reinvented. Jobs have been redefined. New ways to treat diseases emerge almost every day. Behind all this change lies groundbreaking technologies like cloud computing and advanced data analytics that enable us to make sense of information at a depth and scale that has never been possible before. These capabilities have laid the foundation for rapid advances in artificial intelligence that have delivered us to the threshold of a new era of computing that will perceive, learn, reason, and act. Almost without us noticing, AI has become essential to our day-to-day lives. It powers the apps that direct us along the fastest route to our destinations, predict what we might want to watch or listen to or buy, and protect us from junk email and fraud. But it's not just that AI is making our lives more efficient and more productive. Already, AI-based solutions and services are transforming how we diagnose and treat diseases. It's improving public health and public safety, and making it easier for people with disabilities to navigate the world. I'd like to show you a short video about a project that happened to arise at Microsoft that will give you a better idea of the impact that this work is having.
I'm Saqib Sheikh. I lost my sight when I was 7, and shortly after that I went to a school for the blind, and that's where I was introduced to talking computers, and that really opened up a whole new world of opportunities. I joined Microsoft 10 years ago as a software engineer. I love making things which improve people's lives. And one of the things I've always dreamt of since I was at university was this idea of something that could tell you at any moment what's going on around you.
I think it's a man jumping in the air doing a trick on a skateboard.
I teamed up with like-minded engineers to make an app which lets you know who and what is around you. It's based on top of the Microsoft Intelligence APIs, which makes it so much easier to make this kind of thing. The app runs on smartphones, but also on the Pivot Head smart glasses. When you're talking to a bigger group, sometimes you can talk and there's no response and you think, is everyone listening really well or are they half asleep? And you never know.
I see two faces, 40-year-old man with a beard looking surprised, 20-year-old woman looking happy.
The app can describe the general age and gender of the people around me and what their emotions are, which is incredible. One of the things that's most useful about the app is the ability to read out text.
Hello, good afternoon. Here's your menu.
Great, thank you. I can use the app on my phone to take a picture of the menu, and it's going to guide me on how to take that correct photo.
Move camera to the bottom right and away from the document.
And then it'll recognize the text. Read me the headings.
I see appetizers, salads, paninis, pizzas, pastas.
Years ago, this was science fiction. I never thought it would be something that you could actually do. But artificial intelligence is improving at an ever faster rate. And I'm really excited to see where we can take this. As engineers, we're always standing on the shoulders of giants, building on top of what went before. And in this case, we've taken years of research from Microsoft Research to pull this off.
I think it's a young girl throwing an orange frisbee in the park.
For me, it's about taking that far-off dream and building it one step at a time. I think this is just the beginning.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Applause for him. I think it's fitting that we're here in Israel talking about the potential for AI to improve people's lives. One of the most remarkable statistics about the global AI ecosystem is that Israel, the 101st country in the world by population with fewer than 9 million people, ranks number 3 in the world when it comes to AI startups, trailing only the United States and China. And many of the world's leading technology companies have established AI research centers here to take advantage of the wealth of talent and expertise, including Google, IBM, Intel, and Microsoft. We're particularly excited about the Microsoft healthcare bot that was developed here at our Israeli Development Center. Healthcare bot powers conversational AI for healthcare that enables doctors and nurses to find trusted information to support their decisions about diagnoses and treatment, and it is helping patients manage minor ailments without needing to visit their doctor. Healthcare bot was also developed with built-in privacy controls to ensure compliance with the U.S. healthcare privacy law, which is known as HIPAA, as many of you know. And it was also built with a mind towards ensuring compliance with Europe's groundbreaking privacy law, the General Data Protection Regulation. Now, as the head of privacy at Microsoft, that makes me especially proud of this particular app. But the reason that we're here this week has less to do with the changes that have already happened than with the more dramatic transformation that we all know is on its way. Today, artificial intelligence is opening the door to a new generation of capabilities that will revolutionize every field of human endeavor. As AI automates routine tasks and enables us to predict the behavior of even the most complicated systems, it will free people to use their time and their talents in ways that are more strategic, more creative, more productive, and more valuable than ever before. I believe that ultimately, the impact may be limited only by our capacity to imagine what is possible. Of course, this isn't the first time that technological breakthroughs have transformed how people live and work. History teaches us that change of this magnitude never comes without disruption or uncertainty. So when I look at the potential impact of AI, I see a future filled with greater opportunity for people and greater prosperity for society. But I also know that as we endow machines with cognitive capabilities, we will face a wide range of important and difficult questions. Questions like, who will benefit? What can we do to guard against bias? How do we find the right balance between technological progress and the protection of basic human rights, including privacy? And maybe most important, how can we reflect the values and ethics that shape human interaction today in AI systems that will be making decisions that will affect people tomorrow? The fact is that we've reached a point where it is simply no longer possible to push forward to see what technology can do. Now we must also ask questions about what technology should do. And simply asking the question raises the possibility that we must be willing to decide that there will be things that technology should not do. At Microsoft, we've been thinking a lot about these questions. We know that to unleash the full potential of artificial intelligence to benefit humanity, we must create systems that earn people's trust. As a company that is deeply committed to ensuring that the benefits of technology are broadly accessible and fairly distributed, we believe that trust can only be built on a human-centered approach to artificial intelligence. Human-centered artificial intelligence grows out of our belief that technology isn't a substitute for human creativity, judgment, and initiative. The qualities that make us human, imagination, empathy, kindness, and insight, will always be essential and must always be valued. Rather than a way to replace humans, then, artificial intelligence focuses and should focus on augmenting human talents and abilities. The question Microsoft faces, the question we all face, is how we achieve this. Finding the right answer will require new conversations, conversations that bring people together from around the world who have the knowledge, expertise, imagination, and generosity of spirit, for instance, to work toward a global understanding of what it means to use AI for the greater good. The good news is that these kind of conversations are taking place in fora around the world, where a consensus is beginning to form about the appropriate use of these technologies. A great example is the recent release, just last month, of the recommendations of the OECD's Council of Artificial Intelligence. Developed through 2 years of study and discussions, this non-binding set of guidelines is the first intergovernmental standard for artificial intelligence. I'm heartened by the ethical framework of the OECD's recommendations, what you see up here before you. The OECD is proposing 5 ethical principles to promote responsible and trustworthy AI, including inclusive growth, sustainability, and development and well-being, human-centered values and fairness, transparency and explainability, robustness, security, and safety, and of course, and perhaps most importantly, accountability. I'm encouraged by the fact that more than 40 nations have endorsed these principles, including Israel and including the United States. But this is just the start. We need more conversations about how governments should regulate artificial intelligence and to what end. We need more conversations about the responsibility that companies must bear for the technologies that they are developing and that are being used. And we need governments and companies to take steps to ensure that AI truly benefits everyone. The most critical steps will be to ensure that young people and those already in the workforce have access to the education and training they will need to succeed in a world of work that will demand new skills and new knowledge. I'm also encouraged because I know that while artificial intelligence is new, the larger ethical concerns we face are not. These questions are fundamental to what makes us human, and it is our never-ending effort to answer them that will always separate us from our machines, no matter how smart we make them. This is something that the great American mathematician Norbert Wiener recognized more than half a century ago. Wiener invented the field of cybernetics, and his pioneering theories still influence computing, robotics, and automation today. Wiener firmly believed in freeing people from menial tasks so that they can focus on work that is more meaningful and more valuable. But he also worried, as we do today, about the risks. Way back in 1950, he wrote, "The new industrial revolution is a two-edged sword. It may be used for the benefit of humanity, but only if humanity survives long enough to enter a period in which such a benefit is possible." His solution to the problem that he posed, that I just quoted, is, I believe, really moving in both its simplicity and its grace. He said, "Either the engineers must become poets, or the poets must become engineers." I actually believe the answer now is both. Engineers must become poets, and poets must become engineers. And this then is why I am so glad to be here. There are so many brilliant and thoughtful people here in this room, here in this city, and here in this country. Each of you is striving in your own way to be both poets and engineers as we grapple with profound change. The questions we're raising here today and the discussions we're engaging in are a critical part of the process that will enable us to find the balance between what is possible and what is right. More than anything else, the fact that you're all here to share your expertise, your knowledge, your wisdom, as we struggle together to find the best path forward, gives me hope for the future. So I'm honored to be part of these important conversations, and I'm grateful to all of you for being here. Thank you.